story, everyone. Time for the 2015 story. Honestly, I was thinking that I'd probably never be able to tell this story when it comes down to it. But here we are, today, sharing the story with you all. Sheesh. I mean, it does suck that it took 8 years, to get this out there. Again. Not even again, because I'm not going to go full. See, dang, there's a part of the story that I feel like I don't want to. There's just one name in the story. One name of a person that I'm not allowed to say. Okay? But I'm allowed to say the rest of the story. Because it doesn't have to do with him. So I'm pretty sure some of you are wondering where I got my trolls from. Because you see me and you see how I act. It's not really a type of person that would gain trolls out of nowhere. Do I deserve the trolls? Of course not. Honestly, they're targeting me, gang stalking. I know a lot of people like to think this is a crazy theory, gang stalking, but it's a real thing out there. And why am I being gang stalked? Because I did something. Most people say, don't bother those people. Don't try to take on this because they're such a big organization. They got so much power that they can silence you in the most dramatic ways. See, I always thought, even today, not today, but I used to think that meant that they'd kill you. In order to silence you, they'll kill you. That's what I thought it meant. I had no clue. I didn't know what gang stalking even was before I went on taking this organization on. If I didn't know what gang stalking was, would I do it? Would I not did what I did in 2015? No, I would have still done it. Because I did it for all the right reasons. I'm sure some of you know the name EASYY, don't you? Yeah, monster. It ticks me off just saying his name out loud. It bothers me, even though he's dead now. And I'm happy he's dead. I'm so happy he's dead. 5,000 kids he took the innocence from. So I'm glad he's gone. You all should be glad he's gone. Because what comes down to it, if you knew the full story, you'd be angry too, as angry as I am still. 5,000 kids. You know how he was able to get 5,000 kids? Because he was doing this for over 30 plus years. You're telling me 30 plus years no one could have done what I done and 13 other people done? We put the nail. See, people before, they tried to stop him, but they never drove the nail in his heart. Like a vampire, okay? Imagine that. This is how it worked out. They kept trying and trying, but he gets slapped on the wrist all the time. Why? Because the victims that were actually trying to get him in the past, they were getting too scared. They were getting scared by him, being threatened. And they took his threats to heart. So they gave up on their case. They could have stopped him a long time ago. They really could have, but they didn't because they were scared. Now, me and 13 other people, we didn't even make a pact. Our heart, oops, I point at my mind. Our heart, our mind, and our soul already had one decision in mind. That decision was to try to take down this monster with information spreading. Because at the time it was becoming more and more bigger, It was still like whistleblowing was still viewed as a taboo thing around 2015. But not as much as it used to be, you see. More people were afraid of whistleblowing before, like around 2010, a lot of people were afraid of whistleblowing. Almost everyone was like, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. It'll be bad consequences. You're in the land of America, land of the free, and you still got people saying, oh, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. Hush hush about that. That was back in 2010. 2015, it got better though. More truth was coming out, so I thought, maybe me and these 13 other people can take on a monster using full on truth. Because all the information was there, the hard evidence was there. Photos, videos, names written down, documents, files. We had it all. And the people in the past, they had it too. But there's a difference between me and the 13 others and the people in the past that tried to take down the sponsor, Jeffrey Espion. The difference was fear. They had the fear. We did not have the fear. And we had learned the hard way what it meant to be silenced and gang stalked. Out of the 14 people, including me, 5 of them never came back online. Never heard from them again. I don't know if they're even alive, honestly. I hope so, because they done a great thing with me. They helped spread information, helping you all be aware about this horrible things that's happening in Florida and other places around the world. Kids getting dragged to this horrible island. That was our main goal, was to try to spread information about that and put a stop to it. Because there shouldn't be a Disneyland for creeps like that. For that reason. "30 minutes after making this video, my Facebook was taken down, suspended, but terminated. And it was crazy because I had gotten around 5,000 friends at the time on Facebook. No, I had 3,500 friends. 5,000 was the max. I was trying to get the 5,000 friends, so I was pretty close to it. So the fact that they were able to terminate my account with just a quick swift, it showed me, okay, so the owner of Facebook is obviously working with Jeffrey. Why else would he silence me for 5 years, people? 5 years I couldn't create a Facebook account. And guess what? Here's a horrible thing about it. Since Facebook is so addictive, for the first 3 months of it, I was like a fiend. Trying to make fake account after fake account, trying to get back on Facebook, trying to get back to my friends and family. And finally I realized that I was happier without Facebook. I really was. Like, over time I realized more and more how much happier I was without Facebook, because I didn't have to read stupid info that wasn't correct. Then I didn't have to worry about, people being silenced for telling the truth because I wasn't on the app. Of course I still worry about that. I worry about the people that use Facebook, I do. But when it comes down to it, it's their own choice. And they can't see unless if they sacrifice. I know that sounds a bit harsh, but that's what I did. I sacrificed my account to get the truth out there. 5 years straight, I got blacklisted from Facebook. After 3 months though, no problem. In fact, I felt like I was a better person without Facebook, honestly. After that withdrawal part, which lasted 3 months. And that's why I don't really blame people for using Facebook, because it's so addictive, It's like trying to ask a crackhead to get off crack. You can't really expect them to get off crack. So I shouldn't be expecting Facebook users to get off Facebook, even though it's lying to their faces and keeping the truth from them. And in general, is it even safe for them? After that incident, I was wondering, like this is how I know it was that video they terminated me for, because um, in 2015 I had a YouTube account for 6 years before this YouTube account, and I posted that video to my last YouTube account, and sure enough, 5 minutes later after I posted that video, without any warnings from YouTube or anything like that, my whole account got terminated. Today it's back up. Why? Because the people who mass flagged me on those videos protecting Jeffrey Espion is now facing 2 years in prison. Yeah, Mark's little helpers in prison, 2 years. And after they get out of prison, they're going to have to do probation for 2 years. I did see this online, the whole court case document, so I can tell you exactly what they did. But the thing is, I can't find it again. So much has happened in the past month. It's weird, I can't find it again. It sucks. I wish I could, because that was a nail in the coffin right there. If I showed you all that, you would have no choice but to believe me, because my name is on it, and it just tells you what this troll did to me and others. Here's the problem with trolling. The rich people will look at you trolls and see you as easy mercenaries, and they'll use you. They'll use you as mercenaries too. That's what they tried to do to me, to silence me from talking about Jeffrey Espion. So truthfully, they had a troll that was going around and scamming people for hundreds and thousands of dollars. And then not only that they were scamming people, but they were causing people to commit self-die, as you all are calling it. Why don't you just call it suicide? That's what it is. This person did a lot of damage to the earth just as being a troll. You see, they started off as a troll back in 2008 or 2009, maybe even 2006. I think they started as a troll, but at first they were doing like small things, just like trolling communities, forum after forum, app after app. They would try to cause as much controversy as possible. Apparently, they got bored of that and they moved on to scamming people, and they were so good at trolling that they were able to use that, because when you're a good troll, that means you're a good liar. And if you're a good liar, you're most likely a good scammer. Good scammer, like that's a word. A bad good scammer, that's a better word for it. Because all scammers are bad. So she did that. And then she tried to provoke like school shootings and stuff like that. So yeah, she's getting 2 years of prison time, and 2 years after that probation time, and for the whole 4 years. And I think I think it's actually like 5 years extra, like the whole 5 years during that time, she's not gonna be allowed to use a computer at all. No internet for her. This is why I'm trying to get trolls off the trolling path, because it doesn't lead to anything good. 4 years off your life expectancy? Do you think that sounds okay? I don't. You can lose 4 years of your life by taking DMT. So, taking DMT and getting too involved in trolling is basically almost the same thing. Would you do a hard drug that can kill you? No. So, why would you do a hard troll? They'll basically just do the same. This is a 2015 incident. I was pissed off that 5,000 kids were able to, that one man was able to get 5,000 kids. That, to me, still pisses me off. And that we allowed it to go on for so long. I say we, as in the world. because there should have been a lot more people stepping up and stopping this. This is worldwide and info news. So why did they allow it happen for so long? Why did it take me and the 13 others to finally put in the nail in his heart and put him in prison for life, giving him no choice but to do what he did? And honestly, I'm not satisfied with that. I really am not. I'm not satisfied with that. The cops should have done a better job on watching him. They should have not let him commit suicide. Because he should have paid for what he done. He really should have. He never did. He took the easy way out. That's bothersome. You know, I'm glad that they're finally making these trolls that go too far with it get punished. But when it comes down to it, I'm worried that those trolls will end up taking the easy way out. If that's the case, leave the trolls with us on the streets. I mean, I understand if they are stealing, though, money, yeah. But from this, you can tell they're making laws against trolling, because when it comes down, trolling is just a form of harassment. And they're losing online content creators from it. If it's from suicide or just them just quitting and like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too much aggravation. And you can't blame them. Trust me, I know how it feels when someone just ups and quits the online content creator game. Especially with a lot of viewers due to some trolls. I know how it feels. You feel like they quit on you, in a way. But you gotta realize that these trolls are relentless, especially if they're hired by rich people like the ones that were targeting me. They make it their life goal to make your life a living hell. That's their job. But if we keep exposing them for what they are, trolls that they are, then eventually they'll keep making laws against them. And sooner or later, people will start to realize, okay, trolling is best left for like kids that are using the internet at such a young age. Let them troll because they're trying to figure themselves out, whatever. That's understandable if a kid trolls. A teenager trolls, okay, that's still understandable, but still, just hope that they don't troll when they're adult. Because if they do, they end up going on that hard trolling path. And that hard trolling path usually means they'll be scamming for money, or they'll be creating groups and creating more trolls, but more dangerous types of trolls. The trolls that sit there and waste their life leaving hate comments and stupid stuff like that that try and make someone commit suicide. So, adult troll is really not a great thing, honestly. The craziest thing about this whole incident is, in 2014 and before that, I was a troll. In fact, I was one of the biggest trolls. I wasn't a bad troll, though. I was just, because back then, trolling was like usually, you like edgy stuff, like you make yourself look edgy back then. That's how trolling was. So I'd never be attacking others, a few times, so, but not like attacking, like friends, like close friends that they knew I was joking around, They knew I was trolling around, is what I called it. I never attacked strangers, though, with the trolling. But I say I was one of the best trolls, or big trolls, because I would help teach people how to troll. Not like intentionally, just like they'd see how I troll, and they copy me. Because it's a funny thing. Sadly, over time, I quit being a troll, and other people kept being trolls, and someone out there just took the trolling too far. And now we got today's trolls, which is very unpredictable. You can't really bet on a troll if they're going to be a good troll or not, even if they're young or older, because It's really untelling today. Who's being hired for what mission? Anyways, so that's the story. I helped take down Jeffrey Epstein, and I'm proud of it. I'd do it again too. I would do it again. Like right now, you know. Before they took down my account, sorry, I'm salivating, thinking of a win. But before they took down my account, because, so, yeah, this troll was a horrible troll, trust me folks. You might be thinking, when does a troll deserve prison? When they do this stuff. When they steal. When they sit there and harass you. When they use kids. That's what this troll was doing. She was using young boys like myself. And she'd go C to C with them, meaning cam to cam. And she looked like a model. And she was real. Because I did the little trick, you know, hold up your hand in a certain way to show that you're real. Next thing I knew, I had a bunch of screenshots taken of me and being sent to my family through Facebook because of this troll. They said, you pay $500 and I won't send the pictures out. You know what I told them? I don't care. I don't got $500. So, anyways, I like my body. Go ahead. I can't stop you. What you gonna do next? If only she knew what was gonna happen because of that. This. 2 years of probation. 2 years of prison before that. And here I am in the free world. Where are you, trolls? Where are my trolls at, huh? You don't want to come dance with me, trolls? Of course you don't. You feel that danger. You see, now trolls have this feeling of insecurity and danger when they even approach my channel. Or see me in real life. It's like trolls can smell the hunter in me. I don't hunt animals. I don't hunt normals. I don't hunt awesome people. But trolls, if they're asking to be hunted, going too far with their crap, well, and so be it. You know, sometimes you gotta hunt that info. And hunt we shall. Comes down to it, I can finally say, we do live in a crazy world. A crazy, crazy world. We're just living in it. That's the truth. Because after 2015 we done what we done, and then 19 or 2020 they finally lock up Jeffrey Epstein for good. And even before they locked up Jeffrey Epstein for good, Donald Trump arrested 20 people just like him on the same week. Let's go, Trump. That's why I respect Trump, because he done what I did, but times 20. You know, I try to do that, but then you realize you need power. You know, you need the proof. You need all this and that just to take down a monster. That's why I'm really satisfied with at least getting one of them, and the biggest one at that. You know, Trump could say he got at least 20 sword time kind of big users on there, you know, but I could say I'm one of the 13 people that actually helped drive that nail into Jeffrey Epstein's heart and end that shit. So afterwards, I thought things were going to be becoming better, you know. It kind of looked like that. He had the biggest pedophile in jail for good. And then we had 20 other pedophiles before, like a month before he went to jail, get taken into jail too. I thought we were on the good path. I thought that was a good track right there. But apparently, it wasn't good enough for American civilians. Mostly because probably most of them aren't really that American anymore. I'm not meaning that in a racist way, okay? I think people are forgetting what freedom is because that's why they're giving it up. And sooner or later, they're going to realize they're going to give up so much freedom that there's going to be nothing they could do to get back their freedom. And that's the scary part about living in America, because you witness this. You see this with your own eyes. You hear this with your own ears. And there's not much you could really do about it other than try to keep the people with the truth and the freedom. But at the end of the day, they get the final choice of their own life, you know. They choose the path they walk on. And if they want to choose a stupid path to walk on with no freedom and one obligation to bend over backwards for some kind of stupid plan, then so be it. They'll walk down that path, you know. You can't really drag them off the path and put them on the right path. There's been times I wish it would be like that, honestly. I wish it could be like that. And because at this point, it gets worse and worse. And then it's like, what are we going to need? Like, eventually people are not going to even be speaking truth anymore. They're going to be only telling lies around here. That's what worries me the most. Me and 13 other people took down Jeffrey Epstein. If you don't find that crazy, then you need to reevaluate yourself, honestly. I'm sorry, but you really do. You gotta understand, Jeffrey Epstein took 5,000 kids and molested them. 5,000 kids. And me and 13 other people back in 2015 were the only ones that were really talking about this, trying to spread information, awareness, trying to get people to do something about this bad person. And before it was a lot less people, because it was only like 3 or 4 of the victims coming out and stepping forward. But guess what? Those victims decided to stay silent after the court case. They lost the first time and they thought they wouldn't win the second time. That's where they messed up at. They would have most likely won the second time, because it would have if there was more awareness about it, if it was spread amongst the news, if we kept hearing about these court cases that this person was going through for these reasons, then most likely it would be like what me and the 13 other people did. But back instead of 2015, it would have happened in 2005 or 2009, whenever that happened. So honestly, it could have been taken care of a decade sooner. 10 years sooner, it could have been taken care of. But it wasn't. Because people are forgetting what really means to be an American. They give up their freedoms. And then, now it's like they're giving up freedoms that they're not having to use right now, but they're going to need in the future. But when the future comes now, we're not going to have their freedoms. Now people that don't live in USA might be thinking, we're talking about. Trust me, you gotta live in USA to see it for yourself, to understand it for yourself. You really do. It's like, imagine this, alright, if they got the iron curtain over there, we got the glittery curtain, okay? You know, looking from an outside point of view, it might look all glam and, you know, interesting and stuff like that, but when you actually live in it, you see it for a different way. You see it for what it is. And it's sad. It really is sad. A country that was brought to us by, you know, freedom fighters. Now, since there's not much freedom fighters anymore today, we're losing it. Not only that we're losing our land, we're losing the people to lies and evil. I think that's why I'm making this video. Mostly because they sent me a mail last month saying, do I want to be part of this court case? Explaining the 2015, so I was able to look up the name. Sadly, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the troll that was doing this in 2015, so I can't look up the court case, but I swear to God, it was an actual court case. I looked it up on Google. I did that because I was worried that, like, it was like a scam mail, you know? But then I put two and two together. I'm like, all right, 2015 is when I got kicked off of Facebook. Maybe this court case is against, Facebook. That's why I signed it. I had no clue until, like a couple days later, I actually went to go look it up. It was actually about the troll being hired by the elites to attack me. That's who I was basically going against in this court case. Their sacrifice. Their pawn they used just to get at me and others like me. Freedom fighters. It's nice to finally admit it. I was a freedom fighter in 2015. And the blood is still in me. My blood still boils, I swear. When the world needs a freedom fighter, I think of things I could do to help out the world. But then I go and realize that there's not much freedom fighters left. So it's going to be a lot more dangerous in 2015 for me. See, 2015 I was blacklisted from Facebook for 5 years. That's the worst they did to me. They took away my old YouTube account, the old creator basically, for 7 years. They actually finally let the channel go back up, but I don't know the password for it anymore. It's been 7 years later. I moved on, I'm pretty sure they did that. They brought back my account just so I'd go back on it, just so they can find me again. That's the best part about these stupid elitists, man. With all the money they got, with all the technology they got, they ain't the brightest people. Really, they ain't. They're not. Like, the only reason why they're in power is because of the things they done. It wasn't smartness, though. It was by force. Trickery. They basically cheated their way to the top, and they kept their spot. Can't really take down an elite. You can't. They have to take themselves down in a way. That's how we got Jeffrey Epstein, basically. We had the information. He's the one that made it public, We were just sharing that public information to the rest of the world, making it even more public. Then finally, the rest of the world finally came in and was like, all right, we got to put a stop to this. 5,000 kids, that is a lot. That's a lot of victims, 5,000. And all the big kids and teens, come on. It worries me. What if they're abusing old people? What would it be? 10,000 old people then? When would the world care then? How long would it take for the world to step in and be like, all right, enough is enough. We got to put a stop to this. That's why I say there's not a lot of freedom fighters today. Is because if it's happening like that, then that there is a proof right there for you all. The hard evidence that there's not much freedom fighters left. Back then in 2015, especially now in 2023, there's a lot less. For my group, it's only just me now. The rest of them abandoned. Well, 5 of them deleted their accounts, and I don't know what happened to them. But the rest of them, just slowly, eventually, over time, I guess they got scared about those 5 other people that just gone basically missing to us with no reason. So they just basically, over time, made new names, started new lives on the internet. But to be fair, we really did thought we made a change. So for the rest of them to walk away from it, it's understandable, because at the time it seemed like it was okay to walk away from. We weren't needed anymore. After Jeffrey Espion was taken care of, and so many other pedophiles like him, it felt like we weren't needed that much anymore. Those abusers at the work at the retirement homes, we took care of them too. We aimed at them too. It was basically trolls and pedophiles, like hardcore trolls and pedophiles, we aimed to take down. And we did that. We did just that. Back in 2019, I had to bite my tongue so hard that I almost lost my tongue. Not literally, mentally, because they were trying to make this law for pedophiles for, like, if you're a pedophile, then you can get a handicap sticker so you can go and park in front of a school at the handicap spot and sit there and watch kids just to feed your addiction. Man, that made me want to go to war. That really did. That made me want to go to war right there. But at the time, at that time, I was basically all alone as a freedom fighter. I had no one else freedom fighting with me. So it was a really scary, thing that, like, I did talk about it. But I tell you, I was scared after I talked about it. Because I knew, and I still know, today, I'm now alone. If they decide to target me, all they would have to do is target me. And of course, that's a scary thing. But when it comes down to it, that's kind of part of the contract, There's not literally a contract, but when you decide to be a freedom fighter, you have to decide that you're not fighting for the people. You're fighting for the planet. Honestly. You're fighting so the future generations can have a planet that they can breathe easily on with clean oxygen, that they can live easy on without have to worry about their children getting snatched up by some monster, The future generation doesn't have to worry about much with us freedom fighters, if there was enough of us freedom fighters. Less freedom fighters means less freedom. That's the truth. That's what I see. That's why I witnessed firsthand. So, I'm not telling you people, be a freedom fighter. I'm not telling you that. Because honestly, if you want to become a freedom fighter, you have to really, really make that decision for yourself. Alright? You have to, and before you do make that decision, I suggest you go look up stories about whistleblowers, and that'll show you the possible outcomes that you could be facing as a freedom fighter. Also, you need the spirit for it too. Like when things start to get sour, you gotta have the smarts and strength to be able to make that sour back into sweet. And that's a 2015 incident right there, A troll decided to troll most of her life, and it led her down a path of being a thief and being a horrible manipulator to young boys. So obviously she was hired by one of these elitists. I'm not sure which one hired her, but I know someone hired her to be doing this stuff, to be targeting me especially. Like, because the way that she found me, it was like so out of the blue, and it was like weeks before I made this video. So I was like talking about it through like posts on Facebook and comment section, stuff like that. I was talking about like, I'm gonna make this video, get ready for this. You're all gonna get the truth soon, So eventually they tried to basically attack me before I uploaded the video a week before. But it didn't work for them at all. At all. Because I'm still here, ain't I? And where's your leader? See, as a freedom fighter, You don't aim for the people that got brainwashed into the thing. At times you're going to want to aim for them, but you really don't aim for them because that's basically useless. Why would you take out the pawns when it's better to cut off the head of the snake, aka Jeffrey Espion? Then the rest should collapse eventually. Or they'll see as an example, basically use the head of the snake as an example, is what freedom fighters usually do. And that way the bad side can realize, okay, this is what the outcome's gonna be for me. See, we know what our outcome's gonna be for us whistleblowers, because it's always been like the same. But these monsters, they should know their outcome. They really should know their outcome the same way. But when it comes down to it, they act like they're untouchable. Well, I'm still here. That really means you're not untouchable.